Close your eyes. Let your mind settle into a state of quiet curiosity. As you sink into relaxation, imagine drifting through a sea of thought, where ideas float gently, inviting you to explore them without effort. Tonight, we embark on a journey into a paradox that has puzzled minds for centuries, a paradox so simple yet so profound that it shakes the very foundations of truth itself. This is the liar paradox, a statement that seems to contradict itself in an endless loop of uncertainty, a statement that, by its very nature, refuses to be labeled as true or false. And as we unravel its mystery, we'll drift deeper into the soothing currents of logic and language, easing our way toward a state of peaceful rest. Let's begin. At the heart of the liar paradox is a single sentence. This statement is false. Take a moment to consider it. If the statement is true, then what it says must be accurate. It must be false. But if it is false, then what it claims is not true, meaning it must be true. The moment you try to assign it a truth value, it flips on itself. It's like a door that, when pushed open, locks itself shut again. A loop with no exit. This simple yet perplexing contradiction has captured the fascination of philosophers, logicians, and mathematicians for thousands of years. But where did it begin? The origins of the liar paradox date back to ancient Greece. One of the earliest recorded versions comes from a Cretan philosopher named Epimenides, who reportedly stated, "All Cretans are liars." If Epimenides, himself a Cretan, is telling the truth, then all Cretans, including himself, must be liars. But if he is lying, then the statement cannot be trusted, which suggests that at least some Cretans must be truthful. And yet, if that were the case, his statement would be false, leading us back into an endless loop of contradiction. This early version of the paradox highlights a key issue with self-referential statements. Statements that refer back to themselves in a way that disrupts the very concept of truth and falsehood. But the paradox did not stop with Epimenides. Over the centuries, it evolved, reappearing in different forms across cultures and intellectual traditions, each time challenging the foundations of logic and reason. At first glance, the paradox may seem like a mere trick of words, a playful puzzle to amuse the mind. But beneath its surface lies a profound question: how do we define truth? We rely on language to express ideas, to convey knowledge, to define reality. But what happens when language turns against itself? What happens when a simple sentence refuses to obey the basic rules of logic? In everyday life, we assume that statements can be categorized as either true or false. But the liar paradox challenges that assumption. It exists in a strange liminal space, neither true nor false, but constantly oscillating between the two. This paradox has significant implications, especially in fields like philosophy, mathematics, computer science, and artificial intelligence, where logic and self-referential systems must be carefully managed to avoid contradictions that could disrupt entire frameworks of reasoning. To truly grasp the depth of this paradox, let's explore its variations and how different thinkers have attempted to resolve, or at least contain it. There are many versions of the paradox, each offering a slightly different perspective. Here are a few notable ones. The strengthened liar. Consider a modified version of the original statement. This statement is not true. Here, the word false has been replaced with not true, but the effect is the same. If the statement is true, then it must be false, but if it is false, it must be true. The two-person liar. Instead of a single self-referential statement, imagine two people in conversation. Person A: everything person B says is true. Person B: everything person A says is false. If person A's statement is true, then person B's statement must also be true. But if person B's statement is true, then person A's statement must be false, which contradicts our starting assumption. This creates a paradox in which truth and falsehood endlessly entangle each other. The card paradox. Imagine a card with text written on both sides. One side says, "The statement on the other side of this card is true." When you flip the card over, the other side reads, "The statement on the other side of this card is false." No matter how many times you turn the card over, you are left in an infinite loop of contradiction. Each of these variations reinforces the fundamental problem. When statements refer to themselves in a way that disrupts truth and falsehood, logical contradictions emerge. Over the centuries, logicians and philosophers have tried to make sense of the liar paradox. Some of the most influential attempts include Tarski's hierarchy of truth. The Polish logician Alfred Tarski proposed that paradoxes like the liar arise because we try to define truth within the same system that we are using to talk about it. He suggested a hierarchy of languages, where statements about truth exist in a higher-level language that cannot refer back to itself. Kripke's paradox of truth. Philosopher Saul Kripke introduced the idea of grounded and ungrounded statements. Some statements have a clear truth value, while others, like the liar paradox, remain ungrounded, meaning they do not belong in the true-false binary, paraconsistent logic. Some logicians argue that classical logic is too rigid. Instead of rejecting contradictions outright, they propose alternative logical systems where statements can exist in a state of true and false at the same time. In modern times, the paradox has found relevance in computer science and artificial intelligence. Self-referential loops in programming can lead to infinite loops that crash systems. Understanding how to handle paradoxes is essential in designing AI that can process language, logic, and reasoning. As you let your mind settle, consider how the liar paradox mirrors many aspects of life. Some truths seem absolute, yet upon closer inspection, they slip between certainty and contradiction. Let the rhythm of your breath guide you deeper into relaxation. The world of paradoxes is vast, but for now, you can let the contradictions drift away, dissolving into the quiet night. There are no answers to grasp, no puzzles to solve, only the calm flow of thought, gently carrying you towards sleep. Rest well and let the paradoxes of the universe fade into dreams.